Sammy the Bull Gravano will go down in American history as the face of a cooperator, a government informant, Mr. Team America, a rat, a snitch, choose your words how you will. And also, he will go down as a person who made a total mockery of our government. After cooperating against members of his crime family, the Gambino crime family, and in particular his boss, John Gotti Sr., Sammy was given a deal where he served a few years in prison for countless murders and relocated in the witness protection program. But Sammy wasn't happy being an average Joe. Instead, he was relocated to Phoenix, Arizona, where he became the leader of a large-scale ecstasy ring, a crime he was eventually caught for and landed him in prison for 20 years. Today, Sammy is a YouTube content creator in the mob genre and arguably the godfather of the YouTube mob genre. Also, it should be noted here, Sammy paved the way for many people to cooperate in the mafia. And likewise, many of those cooperators are now on YouTube. Some telling good tales, some telling fabricated stories. And when it comes to Sammy, a bunch of bull. Hello, my name is Robert Ross. I'm the host of Convict Inc. If you have not subscribed to this channel, I'm asking you to please do so. If you like this video, please share it with your family, friends, neighbors, enemies, etc. Sammy the Bull has a channel called The Bull, which is very fitting. Some time ago, I think it was a couple years ago, he did a video about him and Paul Snyder, aka Corn Fed, a member of the Aryan Brotherhood who started his prison sentence in California, was charged with multiple murders, a couple murders, I believe, and later, like so many leaders and gangs, criminal organization, flipped. Not to get out of prison, but to go into the feds where he can maybe have a better life in federal prison. Along the way, Sammy the Bull and Corn Fed meet up. Corn Fed and Sammy ended up at the ADX, where, according to Sammy, these two started having a relationship. So let me go ahead and play this little clip, and then I'll take it from there. Go.
He's a German guy, blonde hair, blue eyes, built like a 6'2", 6'3", built like a brick shit house, natural. You know, like a farmer, corn fed. That's how he got his nickname. His name is Paul Snyder. In ADX, he was in a cell next to me. And one day I hear him yelling, Sammy, blow the pipes out. Blow what pipes out? Put your toilet paper over the sink, blow the pipes out. So I look at the sink, it's got a little dick thing on the bottom with holes. This is where they drain. I look at the toilet paper, I put it in there, put my hands over it, put my mouth on it, and I blow as hard as I can blow, over and over again. I take the toilet paper out, and sure enough I hear, Sammy, you hear me? Holy shit. Yeah, Corn Fed, I hear you loud and clear. You hear me? Yeah. So we could talk. His cell and my cell, the pipes go around and hook together behind the walls. So we blow the water out of it, and he talks in it, we can hear each other. Amazing.
So, as far as the first thing I want to say is this. I have spent over 5 years, 6 years of my life in special housing units which is basically equivalent to a cell in the ADX, okay? Let's just say in the special housing units, we do a lot of the same things that he was talking, in particularly, he was talking about the phone system. It's actually called the phone system. I've never heard of anybody blowing out the pipes. So what do? You put your mouth down, you just blow out the pipes. I've never heard of that. Maybe it's true. I personally have never heard of it. What you do is you drain the water out of the toilet. That water you pour down the sink, by the way, with the cup. Then you get a towel and you clean the toilet out so it's empty, so there's no water. And that is the phone system. So maybe he blew out the pipes, but personally, I've never heard of that. So then what happens is, Sammy says, hey, Corn Fed, why don't you go to the yard? According to Sammy, he said, because nobody will go with me.
So I said, Corn Fed, why don't you go in the yard? Now, he says, I can't get in the yard. Nobody will approve me to be in the yard with me. They're afraid of me. You mean to say somebody's got to approve that they will go in the yard, or you won't get to go out there? Yeah. So I called the lieutenant when he came around. I waved him, he came over. So I said, tomorrow when I go on, in the yard, I wouldn't mind going in the yard with Corn Fed. I use his real name, Paul Snyder. I wouldn't mind going in the yard with him. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. You have to sign a release. All right, give me the release. So I signed the release, knowing that whatever, I know about his record, I know about him, and I'm not worried.
I need to make this clear that these two are not in general population. These are two rats in cages, and I've never known anybody who's, well, actually I have known somebody who's been in the rat wing or the protective custody wing of ADX, but this is what he's talking about. And I noticed throughout this video, he'll never mention that, but you have to understand that these guys are all cooperators that are there, okay? So eventually they go out to wreck, and I want you guys to pay attention to how Sammy talks about Corn Fed. It's I have no problem saying there's a good-looking guy or something like that. I don't see any problem with it. I've got no problem saying that. But when you start talking about chiseled features and good looks and like a romance, it gets a little weird. But anyway, let's check this out.
So the next day comes, or 2 days later, and we're gonna go out. And he goes out before me. He goes out, it's nice, sunny, beautiful day. He goes in, takes off his shirt, and he's in the yard, whatever, doing some push-ups, whatever he's doing. Now it's my turn, I come out, I put my hands backwards like I'm cuffed up through there, so they take the cuffs off me and everything off me. And I'm looking up while they're taking my cuffs off, and I'm looking at him. My God, it looks like a fucking Adonis. He's fucking humongous to me. I'm a little guy. I mean, I'm looking at him, I'm saying to myself, did I do the right fucking thing? You know, I think this fucking monster, and my monster, I don't mean a monster in a bad way, he was a handsome man. Square face, blonde hair, blue eyes, good looking guy too, but really well built.
Okay, next that's important is this. Sammy says that basically what happens is there's a guy who's a member of the Dirty White Boys, as said, by the way, not a member, rat, dropout, whatever, who they're on the tier, he's arguing, whatever, him and Sammy get an argument.
And I hear yelling, I hear this guy, he was like a tall guy, well built. He was a boss or something with this gang, Dirty White Boy. And he's arguing with Corn Fed. And I'm there, I standing up, I'm looking out the bars, and I'm looking at the window. Because after the bars, there's a wall with a window and a door. So I'm hearing it, and I'm looking. And he comes back and he looks through my glass, my window, and he tells me, what the fuck are you looking at? I said, I'm looking at you. I'm hearing you arguing with Corn Fed about the chess game. And he told, shut the fuck up and mind your business. Really, huh? I said, you know what, it's my fucking business. Why don't you come to the yard tomorrow, because he's on a different time schedule. Come to the fucking yard tomorrow, we can discuss it. We'll talk about it in the yard. Then I'll see if I mind my business. So we have words back and forth, and then he leaves.
Next thing you know, Snyder, Corn Fed, did I say cornbread before? Corn Fed, says this to Sammy. Go.
So Corn Fed said, Sammy, I heard the conversation. Yeah, I heard you arguing too. Go to the pipes. I blow everything out, and we're talking. And he said, listen, Sammy, let's take this motherfucker out tomorrow. Take him out? Yeah. I got a couple of shanks where the toilet is. I'll tell you where they are. When you get out, take one. When I get out, I'll take one. And we'll take this fucking motherfucker out.
Okay, so I need to point this out here. You're telling me, Sammy the Bull, that in the ADX, that somebody plants knives in the toilet area. First of all, you're in a rec cage. There's no toilet in rec cages. Unless somebody can correct me and tell me that they have toilets in the rec cages at the ADX, there are no toilets in the rec cage to hide knives. You're telling me that this guy stashed knives in a rec cage, where, by the way, he didn't go to rec before. He went out with Sammy, according to Sammy, when he said, why don't you go to the yard? So he doesn't go to rec, but he got knife in the rec. He has knives in a rec cage at the ADX. The way you bring knives into rec cages is you put them in your rectum, okay? You don't stash them outside under toilets that don't exist in rec cages. That's just one of the flaws I want to point out. Next. Corn Fed tells Sammy, let's whack this guy, whatever, however they put it. So all of a sudden, a guy who can't go to rec, but who kissed Sammy the Bull because they went to rec together, can now go to rec with a third person, and they can bring him. So let's call him to the kid. How did it go from Corn Fed being on single rec to now all of a sudden they can have a party in the rec cage, or they can go unalive this person? Those are some glaring mistakes that he made, or inconsistencies, I should say, that Sammy put out in this video. And the channel, and it makes me question this, and I have to say this, I have never watched a single video of Sammy the Bull on the Bull. I saw his interview on Vlad TV, but as far as watching anything, I've never watched one until this was brought to my attention. I believe that he has stretched the truth often. And this is one of those things where it could be, the guy's getting older, let's give him that. And I'm not saying that even to be mean, he's getting older. But I think this was a tall tale for the viewers on a channel called The Bull. What ends up happening is Sammy says that the dirty white boy filed a separate against them. Look, just a little part of this, and I love one thing. Go.
We lay down a little while later, the lieutenant comes and he tells me, Gravano, get up. What do you want? He tells me the guy's name, the dirty white boy's name. He said, there's a threat against him from you and Paul Snyder. Not that I know of. I don't know what you're talking about. What kind of threat? Who told you that? He did. He wants to sign like a complaint where there's a separatee, they call it, so that me and Corn Fed could never be in the yard with him. This fucking bitch, right after that argument, he ran to the lieutenant and put in this whole thing. So I said, listen, I don't know nothing about it. I don't know nothing about an argument, and I don't know anything about any kind of threat. But if he don't want to be in the yard with us, that's fine. That's fine. I don't really care where he wants to go. You know, we like him. I mean, I think he would be fine with us. Corn Fed, I'm screaming. He said, all right, calm down. He said, I'm going to go talk to Corn Fed too. So the guy talked, then me and Corn Fed back on the fucking horn. We blow it out. He said, this fucking bitch, he says, he knew we were going to, the way he was yelling at us, he knew we were going to strike.
Can you believe that they called him a bitch for filing a separate rats in cages in ADX? Or calling another guy a rat if that happened because he ratted on them and said, again, Corn Fed said he was not allowed people at rec. Sammy signed papers to go to rec with them, and all of a sudden the third person can go to the rec cage. Nice tall tale by a government informant, aka rat with a long tail. Get it? Tail. But basically it just ends. Everything happened, and Sammy, of course, thank God, go.
Thank God, because I did get out of prison. Thank God. God was watching that he did this fucking jerk. Because I would have did it and never got out.
Something to note here before I end this video. Why do so many government cooperatives turn to Jesus? They act like they're modern day apostles, spreading Jesus' word to snitch far and wide. Helped attribute to the American culture of telling that we have today, where I'm here to tell you people, if you guys want best deals, if you're criminals and you want the best deal possible, if you get caught, join a gang or a criminal organization. Join one. Most people tell them they get caught, and you have more information to give over. Look at Sam with the bull. Just thought I'd put that out there. Message: don't join gangs. Goodbye.